Yo, pod! This is Meat Mitch, and you're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Yo, pod! This is Meat Mitch, and you're listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
Start the game! Let's go!
We'll do it live. Okay. Well, do it live! I'll write it, and we'll do it live!
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
And welcome to the really big Barbecue Central Show. This is a show that talks about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling. Originating from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio, the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday. Who wants to jump in, everybody? Love to have you, whether it's through a phone call or an email. If you don't know how to do that, here's your info.
You can get in touch with the show by calling 216-220-0966. Email Greg at the BBQCentralShow.com. On the Twitter and Instagrams at BBQ Central Show.
Anything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, the BBQCentralShow.com. And here's what's happening. Coming up in about 12 minutes from now, a longtime sponsor of the show, somebody who was on just as the pandemic hit, and we talked to them about supply chain and some other items that were happening. They were actually a company that ventured out into that last bastion of HPBA-ness. And I think we're one of the few that also closed up shop pretty quickly thereafter once they arrived there in New Orleans for that expo. With an announcement of not one but two brand new products, we will be rejoined in the 14 past the hour segment with Ted Conrad from FireBoard. If you're following me on social media, you saw the post that I made about the new products a couple days ago on my show page. If you're not liking me over there, make sure that you do that. I'll give you that info here in a second. 35 past the hour, and because it is the fourth Tuesday of the month, that means it's going to be bringing a visit from the bristly barbecue journalist himself, Derek Riches from DerekRiches.com. 3 or 4 different topics to talk with Derek about. Number one, bristle brushes. If you follow Derek, you'll know that he is on a hotly contested mission to ban this world. Not only the country, but ban the world of bristle brushes for cleaning your grills. Doesn't want anything to do with them. Doesn't want people to make them. Dangerous. He'll lay out the whole plan for us. We'll also talk about the liquid propane gas bottle exchange versus refill. Now, if you're an old-timey person here to the Live Fire show, you've already heard this before, but for all the new folks or the medium new folks that are just lumping in here to the fold, we want to make sure that you're up to speed on this. There was a lawsuit a number of years ago that spawned this whole deal, but there was a little crafty, malfeasant business practice that was going on with, I think it was AmeriGas or Blue Rhino, definitely Blue Rhino, maybe not AmeriGas, but Blue Rhino was sued, and shenanigans were unveiled. But there's a vast difference, pounds and pounds of difference between exchange and refill. We'll talk about it. Also, I'll get Derek's take on who he thinks will go into the Hall of Fame for barbecue tomorrow. That would actually, next live show. So, that's your first hour. Second hour, of course, since it is the fourth Tuesday, embedded correspondents are refiring the malfeasance of the live fire industry. And we will also be talking about the Barbecue Hall of Fame, who we would be putting in. We'll go through the panel. We'll get everybody's top 3. We'll see if we can't come up with a quorum of who the Barbecue Central Show Hall of Fame votes would be. And then we will also figure out who number 4 would be, because as great and wonderful as those first 3 who we will reveal tomorrow exclusively here on the show, isn't there any portion of you that wants to know who number 4 is? The bridesmaid, that's the name I want to know. It's like when King of the Smoker was happening. Certainly you wanted to finish first or second, top 10, whatever. You didn't want to be dead ass last. So as Sterling would commonly joke for those 10 years that it was going on, people were racing to get the results list to see who was at the bottom of the results list. So we're not looking for the bottom, but 4, I think that would be interesting. I wonder who 4 is. I don't know if we're going to get that information. Something we'd like to know, but we'll have 4 here this evening for the first part of the Embedded Correspondence. And then we will run out the finale of American Idol Barbecue Central Show edition. That's right. It's going to be fast. It's going to be furious. There's going to be a lot of bad singing. Believe me. I've produced the Duet, which may or may not make your ears bleed. And then Ricer and myself will be singing live for the finale, for your votes. And we will find out in a week's time who will be overall American Idol Barbecue Central Show edition champion. So we're looking forward to getting that accomplished here this evening. Again, your phone calls and emails if you are so interested to take part. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com and 216-220-0966. Don't forget, you can also follow me socially at BBQ Central Show on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, /BBQ Central Show on Facebook, which there's also a live video feed when the show's live, 9 to 11 on Tuesdays. And as I had mentioned previously, programming note, tomorrow there will be a live Barbecue Hall of Fame show at 3 p.m. Eastern where we will announce live.
We'll do it live. Okay.
Exclusively on the show, the Hall of Fame class for 2020. Who will it be? Shoot me your thoughts in the chat while we're rolling here through this evening. Who is your top 3 out of the semifinal list of 9? I want to know. We'll fit them in during the show as we can. Get yourself on record now. And again, that's 3 p.m. tomorrow. That's Wednesday, and we will be live.
We'll do it live.
That's right. We will do it live. Do it live. Email from a listener. Howdy, Greg. I love your show. I've enjoyed listening since 2013. Long-time listener to the show. Most of your guests are great, accomplished people. They are barbecue cooks, and in the case of Steven Reichland, an expert on world cuisine, unquestionably. However, your show is about barbecue and grilling that we all enjoy. I get that we all come from all walks of life, political views, and so forth. Would you mind asking Steven to keep his to himself? It is readily apparent that the man hates the president. He is certainly entitled to his opinion. However, your show is about barbecue and grilling and bringing people together. I've noticed that every time Steven is on, he feels the need to take a poke at the political right. Does he think that this will bring anybody to his viewpoint? Meathead is left of center, however, manages to be respectful of both positions. Greg, you have the best barbecue show there is. I really appreciate the hard work that you put in, and hell, you sell my favorite brand of truck for a living during the day. That doesn't hurt either. Thanks for all you do. Sincerely, Alexi. Alexi, first, thanks for writing it. Thank you. Alexi, I appreciate the time that you have taken to write me this email. And here's my answer to you. Will I tell Steven Reichland to not express his political or personal views on this show? I have the answer. The answer is no.
Get that big stuff out of here.
I'm not going to tell him that. If Steven wants to come on the show and at some point during his segment say that he is a fan of X or he is not a fan of X, that is certainly his prerogative. Now, if it's a incredibly brash pop shot I might question it. I've done that. But it's certainly up to him if he wants to. So, what you need to understand is this. If somehow this makes you a fan of not this show, because Steven Raichlen, for instance, last weekend made some reference to, I don't want to be loose with the details. We have somebody in the White House that's doing that. If that comment makes you less of a fan of this show, then I apologize. We're probably already at a crossroads. Since 2013, this is the item that is stuck in the craw because he makes a shot or gives an opinion on the political landscape. And it's not all the time. It really isn't. If you go back through and listen to Steven's, all of his segments, rarely he's maybe made reference to PBS once. Couple shots at the president, I guess. But he's not sweeping over the political right. I think he's taking an opinion shot at the president directly. And if that's not your cup of tea, and that affects you watching this show, which I hope it doesn't, then that's too bad. But I think you might want to send an email to Steven Raichlen, the guy that you have a problem with. Dear Steven, I enjoy you on the Barbecue Central show. Stop giving your political opinions at every turn. That's probably where it's going to do most good. I'm not going to tell my guests what they can or cannot say. If they are alienating a certain portion of their fan base because of it, that's certainly on them. But I appreciate you listening since 2013. Longtime fan. That's great. You know who's a longer fan than you, Alexi? The Barbecue Guru. That's right. Creators of automatic pit temperature control devices. We love them. Always believing that outdoor cooking can be easy and fun, because it is, with the use of automatic temperature control devices, if you so choose. Or they have grills that you can choose from. They have a shotgun cooker, which is more of a cabinet style, insulated. They also have the Monolith, which is a ceramic cooker with a built-in power draft fan. So if you have a controller already from the Barbecue Guru, easy enough to hook up. Away you go. It's kind of like a sous chef right in your backyard. Keeps the temperature right where you want it, minimal effort. You now have tasty, juicy meals each and every time, because it's all about consistency and the products that you're putting on the table for everybody to eat. Look like a hero, do it easily. Barbecue Guru. Website, bbqguru.com. Phone number, 800-288-GURU. That's 800-288-GURU. The Barbecue Guru continues to be a breakthrough in barbecue technology. And by the way, I got my hands on Bob's brand new rub and sauce products. One is the Maddie's Steak Rub, which I'm looking forward to trying out. And then, if you're a fan of wing sauce, you're in for it. Mighty Mitch's Wing Sauce. All there under the Having a Barbecue brand from Bob Trudnak and the folks over Barbecue Guru. So if you're looking for a new wing sauce or a new steak rub, you might want to give it a try. Ted Conrad is up next. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Butcher's Barbecue, makers of award-winning injections, marinades, rubs, seasonings, barbecue sauces, grilling oils. All the Butcher Barbecue products have been tested on the circuit for verification worldwide. Backyards as well. Be the pitmaster of your neighborhood and visit butcherbbq.com to stock up now. Always trust your butcher. My first guest tonight, leading the remote thermometer sector with their FireBoard products, which is an absolute incredible tool, especially if you love tech and you love to monitor multiple items over one source. Tonight, it's new product announcement time, amongst other things, so we race with Holland. And welcome back, friend of the show, Ted Conrad, joining me. Hey, Ted.
Hey, Greg. How you doing?
I'm absolutely fabulous, Ted. Appreciate you making time, as always. And let's start here. You know, we talked mid-March-ish, right after the coronavirus hit, and you were filling us in at that point on supply chain and how that was treating you and if it was affecting making FireBoard products and fulfilling orders, logistics, all that crap. So now that we're a number of months past that initial interview, how have those 8 to 10 weeks run for FireBoard? Were there any hangups? Were there any delays in shipping and all that good stuff? How's it going?
Yeah. Well, in March, it was kind of funny because we, of course, as you know, we'll talk about more tonight, but we're coming out with our new thermometer tonight. So and back in March, I didn't want to get into all the details of getting those supplies over here, but it's been a little wild. Anybody who's following like the logistics world, air freight, well, of course, there's air freight and there's ocean freight, right? So air freight typically will ride underneath, the airplanes of all the passenger aircraft.
Yep.
So as everybody realizes, there's really not that many passenger aircraft these days. So
that's right.
The problem is, we've gone from, I would say like $2 or $3 per kilogram or for a kilogram all the way up to like $10. It's all 3 to 4 times, maybe even 5 times the price of the normal air shipping cost. So it's really outrageous. Now, the other thing is, Greg, most people can try to get ahead of it. And if they can go out and get their ocean shipments booked ahead of time, and they can, for the most part, ocean freight hasn't been affected that much. There was a whole slowdown in China, which kind of opened up more capacity on a lot of these boats. But the air is where it's really hit. And unfortunately for us, we're trying to rush through this product launch and everything. So that's been, air freight's pretty nuts right now.
If you were going to go on a boat, is that something, well, it's not, that's something you have to account for in shipping time. So freight through the air is going to be substantially quicker over the boat. It could be, 20 days, 30 days or something like that. So you would have to account for that type of a time travel before you could get your stuff to make your stuff to send out to people.
Yeah, it's anywhere, ocean's probably like 20 days, but it could take maybe 30 days depending on, once it hits the port, usually like in Los Angeles, sometimes it's rail all the way, where we are in Kansas City, sometimes it's rail, sometimes it's just ground trucking. So there's sort of a few details, but yeah, you have to plan at least like 25 days. Now air, if you have people working for you, like the logistics side efficiently, you can probably get air in like 3, 4, 5 days.
Yeah.
Typically it's like maybe 6 or 7 days. So it's obviously much faster. We are in this situation now where we have to go air because we've been pedal to the metal on several projects. And so as soon as the factories and the whatever we're buying overseas, as soon as that stuff is ready, we have to get it air shipped over very quickly. And then as we go forward, we'll plan out, we'll stage our orders so that we account for that 25-day extra shipping time.
Ted Conrad joining me here on the show from FireBoard. FireBoard.com is the website if you want to check it out. And now it's time where we reveal not one, but 2 new products from FireBoard, so that's very exciting. Now, you can currently...
3 products, Greg.
3 products?
Yeah.
Oh, my. 3 products. How about that? Not only is 2 good, 3 is better, always. Now, I know for the FireBoard, or the new FireBoard units we'll talk about here in a second, they're currently available to pre-order. The date on the website says available June 8th. Is that a firm, or is that a moving target?
Yeah, no, it's firm. We have everything that we need. There's a, I guess the only wild card is just how many pre-orders do we get, because we're ramped up for production. We're building stuff. Literally, we started to go forward with that today. Tomorrow's going to be full on production mode. So the only question is if we just get a huge unplanned amount of pre-orders. I mean, it could be just the orders might slide a little bit, but I mean, we're June 8th is.
Sorry, Ted. I think I lost you there. You said June 8th was the plan there?
Yeah, June 8th is still good. Yeah, June 8th is still firm. And we're cranking away on that date. We have all the stuff that we need to make that date happen. So I think we feel pretty good about June 8th.
All right. Ted Conrad joining me here on the show. So FireBoard 2 and FireBoard 2 Drive. And before we get into these units, let's talk about what makes them unique. And are these replacing anything that is currently on the product's portfolio?
Yeah, we started the company with FireBoard. We just called it the FireBoard. And as you know, you've used the product. I mean, that's been the main thing that we've had for the last 3-4 years. We felt like it was time to refresh and to try to improve on what we had originally built. I guess aesthetically, I think you look at what we have now as the new FireBoard, if you will, the new FireBoard 2. Aesthetically, I think this the case, the screen is really nice. If you will, like the industrial design. I mean, I love the design aspect of this stuff. Just thinking about how you make a product, the plastics, the CNC machine. Like we actually have this is an aluminum CNC machine bezel that goes around here. You think about, there's actually a little plastic, we call it a light pipe, but it's a curved piece of plastic that brings the little light from the circuit board up through a channel, and then it channels it up into this metal bezel. So those are the design details that I think have gone into this product that we've had a little bit more time to make this, if you will, kind of a refined product as close as we can to making this a really, really top-notch, perfect product, if you will. And I think we've kept many of the same things we had in the first one. We have 6 channels. We still have the auxiliary port to run accessories off of, and the app and I think you find that the FireBoard experience doesn't really change, but I think from the product perspective, it's just a much better product. That the screen is much larger. We have built-in weather protection, which is really nice. And then which is really, really nice for people. And we've actually seen over the last year, I think it's been kind of organically spreading. People have been talking about how Drive works. I think people love using it. I feel like we haven't really marketed Drive that much, but people have really enjoyed using it. So this has built-in Drive technology. So that's been fun when we're finally able to get this out there. We're excited about getting it out there, Greg.
So both FireBoard 2 and then there is the other product, FireBoard 2 Drive. Does one not have the Drive option, or both of them have Drive, and perhaps the one FireBoard 2, I don't want to get convoluted here, but FireBoard 2 Drive, does that then also include the fan or some other accessory that the FireBoard 2 doesn't?
Yeah, I mean, the main difference, the Drive, if you look at, if you get down to the actual circuit board level, there's a decent amount of cost that goes into the components to make Drive work. I mean, it's a variable voltage output, so if you think about this, the fan that you're driving, right, you can go anywhere from 3 volts all the way up to 12 volts. It's variable speed. And, FireBoard is unique also because we're able to drive a fan off battery. So you've got to have some pretty complex circuitry. You've got to take the battery voltage and boost that up to maybe 7, 10, 11 volts. Furthermore, you have to be able to take a 12-volt input and drop that down to 3 volts if you're only wanting 3 volts. So there's all these different power scenarios, and we've built that in. So to make a long story short, the Drive version of the FireBoard 2 does have quite a few more components. So we're selling that at a higher price point. And then the lower price point model does not have built-in Drive. So we don't put those components on the board. So we save that cost. we can keep the retail price lower. We kind of retain that $189 price, so people can get into a FireBoard at $189 just like they always have.
Yeah.
And then they can add the drive cable later. It plugs into the aux port. They can do that later if they want to. So it kind of preserves their ability to upgrade over time. So I think it just gives people options in the market.
The implements that you put into this second generation of FireBoard, how much is a customer-driven request or input from the market, and how much is stuff that you guys at FireBoard have just wanted to put in a next generation of FireBoard?
It's both. I mean, you find it basically overlaps. I mean, I think our customers are using the product, but we're using the product also. I mean, we're grilling and we're having fun, using the product all the time. So I think, having a built-in weather-resistant case, if you will, having the ability to just leave it out there. We've had, I don't know about you, last few days, Greg, it's been nonstop raining here in Kansas City.
Oh yeah.
So it's I've left this guy out of my patio for the last 3 days. So
on purpose?
Yeah, so
All
it's one of the things where you want to. It needs to be simple to use. You don't have to think about, is it going to get wet? You're going to worry about a storm coming through. So that's been our goal. And then the screen, Jason, the guy who's on our team that's unbelievable with firmware and writing all this stuff, like, the display logic and whatnot, you can see there's a graph of the actual temperature over time.
Mm-hmm.
And having that, we've focused on temperature data on our mobile app, on the FireBoard app, which is huge. But to be able to walk up to the screen and just see what's been going on, you're in the middle of doing something, you don't want to pick up your phone, and that's really handy. So, not to mention this really nice, large view of the temperature,
Yeah. So let me play. Let me play devil's douchebag here just for a second. Great big screen, big temperature readout, the graph. Why do I need that if I have all of that on my phone already with a really cool app, or it can also be on my laptop? Are we not going into some type of an overkill?
Yeah. Well, I mean, part of it is that FireBoard experience doesn't change at all. So you're absolutely right. I mean, the people that 70, 80% of the time, if you're watching this on your phone, that's absolutely right. I mean, that experience is going to be no worse, no better, but it's going to be still a really great experience that way. And then I think on top of that, now we have the ability to sell a product that I feel like just has a much more marketable aesthetic aspect to it, if you will. I think building a product that people like to look at, people think that this has really been engineered. The mechanical design, the industrial design is really top notch. I mean, to me, that's important, right? I mean, we need to be, the original FireBoard had some holes kind of on top. And we had 2 buttons on top.
Yep.
Well, you leave it out sitting on your patio, and the rain comes in, the water gets through those little holes. So there's little design elements like that I think in the very beginning we had to do just to get it out there. But making it better, making a better product is always the right answer, I think.
All right, so 2 last questions before I let you go, and I appreciate the time. There were 3, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get all 3 in. So let me ask this question. I, who know nothing about the world that you live in, would say that when is the FireBoard without any wires coming? Something akin to that rip-off meter Kickstarter program that's generated $758 million and has produced like 2 products. My embedded correspondent, it took 2 years for him to get blah, blah, blah. But how come we can't make something like that, but actually get it introduced to the public? That seems like it would be a knockout punch to the industry.
Yeah, and so Greg, you just mean in general, just another wireless probe that works pretty well?
Yeah, I mean, like instead of having the 6 wired probes that you have, which are really great quality and stand up to the high heat, how come we can't make something, and by we, I mean you, eliminate the wire so I can just stick it in and have a wireless experience that way?
Yeah. Yeah. what I always come back to is you think about putting electronics and a battery inside of your grill and inside of meat that theoretically the meat temperature is not going to go above 200, 210 or something like that.
Right.
But steaks obviously less than that. It just feels like it's a recipe for a more complicated product to support. I probe that doesn't have all those electronics and batteries and whatnot inside of it. So we've thought about that, and I think that's definitely something that we would love to do down the road at some point. But there's some balance of building a product that's reasonable cost and that's robust, so you don't have support issues down the road. We want for this product to work not for just a few months, but for several years when people buy the product. Today, if your temperature probe that we sell you with the kit breaks, you can buy their temperature probe for $15 and it's no problem. Their thermometer is great, technology is great, but you just buy a new thermometer, you buy a new temperature probe and you're good to go. So when you bury all that complicated circuitry inside of your grill, and which gets up to 700 and 800 degrees, it's definitely a problem we're thinking about, but it's something we've
Ted, last question before I let you go tonight, and appreciate the time. Tomorrow on this show, we will be unveiling exclusively the 3 members that will be making it into the Barbecue Hall of Fame, being a student of the barbecue game as you are. I'm sure you have seen the list. Do you want to give Ted Conrad's 2020 Barbecue Hall of Fame inductees?
Yep. So now
Great.
you want my,
Here we go.
You want my top 3? Is that what you want, Greg?
Yeah, these would be the 3 you would be putting into the Hall of Fame tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think my number 1 is going to be Meathead, and
Look at you.
Yeah.
All right.
I've got a story on that, but I don't know if you have time or want to dig into that. But
does it involve something illegal?
No, nothing bad at all. Nothing at all.
Darn
The short story is I just got started. Barbecue, just kind of thinking about this hobby, and even just before we even started the business, I started reading, Meathead's blog, just like a lot of people do. And so he's done a tremendous job with writing content. I think his passion is obviously barbecue and writing this content. So he's done such a great job. I mean, you type in your barbecue ribs, you find his stuff at the very top. So that's a testament to how he's built his business. It's great.
Yep. All right, number 2.
Number 2, I will say Aaron Franklin.
Wow, Aaron Franklin. All right, popular, no doubt.
Yep.
Number 3, rounding out the class of 2020.
Desiree Robinson.
All right, look at you. We're a lot alike. I got to be honest. We're at least 2/3 of like-mindedness when it comes to the Hall of Fame, and we will reveal tomorrow. In the meantime, head on over to FireBoard.com. Make sure that you're pre-ordering the FireBoard 2 or the FireBoard 2 Drive, depending on what your level of tech and wisdom might be. And don't forget, you got a more robust chassis. Leave it out in the rain. Ted has done it here on purpose the last couple of days. No issues. And especially, Father's Day is coming up, so that would be a great gift for the live fire dad in your life, or a wives, or if you're listening, your husband's looking for a cool gift. Obviously, Ted, this is something that we should be pressing really hard, right?
Yep. Yeah, we're rolling out the Father's Day stuff this week. We found obviously it's a great gift. Dads love it. So check us out. No, Greg, we appreciate the time hopping on here and always enjoy your show. Thank you.
You got it. There he is, Ted Conrad from FireBoard, and you can get him over at FireBoard.com as always. Wow, FireBoard 2. Just as I was getting used to FireBoard Original because I stashed it away in my bottom drawer because I'm a dope, then finally took it out and realized, hey, this thing's fabulous. FireBoard 2's out now. Great. honey, if you're listening, FireBoard 2, it's coming out. Pre-order now. Ready to go June 8th. I like Father's Day gifts. Just if you're listening. Derek Riches is in the green room. He's ready to talk. I'm going to talk to you quickly about Green Mountain Grills, some of the best pellet cookers out there on the market today. 2 lines to choose from, a choice line and a prime line. Choice is the original. So you get the same cookers, size-wise and name-wise, except the choice has Jim Bowie, Daniel Boone. Then you have a prime line, a little bit more robust in the chassis build, like Ted was talking about with FireBoard 2. A little bit more robust build there over the original FireBoard. You have Pekin windows on the main cooking chamber, on the pellet hopper on the prime line. You also have 2 internal meat probes. If you want to do that Wi-Fi technology, choice line, no Wi-Fi technology. But if you're like me, you're like, screw it. Who really needs a Wi-Fi? Seems like on some of these cookers it doesn't even work anyway. So it's like a big pain in the ass and a kick in the balls every time you try to work it. So if you don't need it, you want to save a couple bucks, you still want to get the same size cooker, you can do choice line Green Mountain Grills. If you want the tech, then get the prime line. Either or. It's up to you. Get both. 2 of each. Why not? Pizza oven insert on the Jim Bowie and Daniel Boone will fit. If you want something travel size, that's Davy Crockett. Sold through dealers. So go to Green Mountain Grill's website, find a dealer near you, go to the dealer, learn more about them. All the dealers are trained to make sure that you're trained. So when you get it home, you're an expert. Everybody's happy. GreenMountainGrills.com. Also pellets and sauces and rubs and other accessories for fun. GreenMountainGrills.com. That's GreenMountainGrills.com. We're back with Derek Riches right after this. Stick around.
Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
Hey, speaking of really cool pellet grills like Green Mountain Grills, let's talk about stuff you should be putting in those pellet grills. Cooking pellets, of course. Premier manufacturer of the best pellets out there today. CookingPellets.com is the place to go to buy. You can also buy Amazon.com if you want. And they fit in all cookers. Don't let people tell you that you got to use these pellets for this cooker. It's illegal. Cooking Pellets is the place to go. 40-pound bags sold in most cases. Check it out. All right. My next guest can be found here the 4th Tuesday of the month. You find his writings on DerekRiches.com. So, of course, we're talking with Derek Riches. Hey, Derek.
Hey, Greg. How you doing?
I'm absolutely fabulous. Appreciate you making time here as always. And we have some things to get to. First, were you excited? I saw you ducked into the green room many minutes prior to the segment. Are you excited about the new FireBoard 2? Did you just find out about that, or did you have a heads up on it?
I talked with them in March,
All right.
I believe it was, about that, and they were kind of hinting at it. And I think you can, let's see, right here.
There it is. Yeah, I see it there. Over your left shoulder.
Yeah.
So are you jazzed about the... Yeah, well, it's always opposite. So are you jazzed about FireBoard 2?
Yeah, I think I like the FireBoard 1. I think it's it's a really great unit, and I'd love to give this one a try. So, if he's still listening, I'm here.
I think you just asked for something for free. Wow, come on, Derek. Let's use a little couth.
Oh, sorry.
This is why you're bristly.
Yeah, that's it.
That's right. Derek Riches has been on the Bristle Brush campaign of 2020. Let's talk about it. This has been... Actually, yes, go ahead.
No, this has been 10 years of this.
Yeah, but you made a video, and I'm trying to work an agenda here. I mean, give me a break. So this has been an issue that many, many outlets have reported on, especially at this time of the year as grilling season comes around. Right. It's been a particular issue that has driven you for some amount of time as well. So seeing the video that you had released through YouTube a handful of days ago and reading your social media postings about we gotta get rid of this, why has this been such an ongoing passion of yours?
Well, it's just because it's kind of ridiculous at this point. I mean, this came up literally a decade ago, and people are like, oh, we're going to do something about this, and nobody does anything. I've talked with probably a dozen different companies. I've talked with trade groups and everything. And they're all kind of like, oh, well, when they get old, people should buy a new one. And it's like, so your solution is to sell more product. And, then blame the consumer if they happen to get hurt by it. And I'm kind of sick and tired of the stories because this just keeps coming up. It's like we get into the grilling season and there's going to be all these news stories about, grilling is dangerous and you're going to get hurt. And it's like, that's not good for any of us. It's not good for the business. It's not good for the manufacturers. It's not good for, you and me. So why not just stop it? That's my point. Just stop. You can stop doing this. It's not hard. There are so many alternatives.
Through your research, have you seen statistical data showing the number of emergency room visits or issues that bristles have caused year over year?
There was a study put together a decade ago by a couple of doctors, and they found that they could verify 130 cases a year, but they only collected data from the emergency rooms of major hospitals. And they freely acknowledged that they weren't going to Instacares, they weren't talking with doctors' offices, and that the reporting was, very minimal, that they may only be getting a fraction of the actual instances. Because most of the injuries are minor. Somebody gets stuck in the tongue or in, the side of their mouth or something with one of these. They don't end up in an emergency room. But it's just, to me, it's just sheer stupidity at this point because we don't need to do this. We don't stop playing this game.
So why are bristles allowed? Is this one of those Illuminati, Gestapo type deals where we know that there is, not might be, but there is a better way? These bristles are hazardous. They're left on the landscape of the grill. They're being picked up by meat, ingested throughout the times that you could be eating. Sometimes you have to go to the emergency room. Sometimes you pick it out of your cheek or tongue or upper lip or whatever the case may be. If we all know, how come there just isn't some kind of a government ban on bristle brushes for the grill?
Well, yeah, like the government gets anything done.
Easy. I might get an email about you taking a shot at somebody. I mean, come on. I already had that happen early.
Here's the deal. Congress sucks. I hope you get a lot of emails.
Oh, boy. Congress sucks. Breaking news. Good job.
Yeah. Because actually, Congress brought this up in 2012, and they mandated that the U.S. government, the Consumer Product Safety Commission, look into it. And their solution was, well, what we'll do is we'll test to see if you can pull the bristles out of a brush. And my point was, it's not them falling out. It's them breaking off.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And I've talked with people at Consumer Product Safety Commission, like, oh, we didn't look for that. It's like, please, it's not like this is rocket science. People use these because they always have. And when you sit there and say, well, we all know about it, well, we who spend a lot of time talking about barbecue and grilling, we know about it. We've been hearing it over and over again. But every time I put a story out like this or do that, I get emails back from people or messages from people going, I didn't know anything about this, but I just looked in my grill and there's a dozen bristles in the bottom of it. I'm like, yeah, of course there are. Because I guess honestly, if you've got a grill and you've been using one of these things for a long time, there's bristles in the bottom of your grill. I guarantee it. And it's only chance that it's kept it from ending up in your stomach. Is there anything that's nice.
Will there be anything that resolves this, or are we just are you gonna continue to write this story over and over again?
I hope not. I would love to just get it to stop. And what it would really take is for a major manufacturer to stand up and actually come out and say, we're going to stop selling these because they hurt people, and anyone who does sell them is irresponsible and bad people, and just kind of shame them into it. That's really what it takes. I mean, I'd love for, like a major retail chain to come back and say, well, we don't sell them anymore. But every time I bring it up, they're just kind of like, oh, well, people should just buy another one every, couple of months. It's like, that costs $4 how much profit are you making? Because I can't imagine that this is floating Home Depot.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a pointless thing. There are very good alternatives out there, and we just need manufacturers to kind of stand up and say, we're not going to have them as part of our product line anymore. We're going to go to the alternatives and just have that. And I don't have to keep talking about this, and there doesn't have to constantly be, you know, the local news story about the person who just came out of the hospital. It's just lunacy at this point.
Derek Riches can be found writing for DerekRiches.com. The other thing I wanted to talk about tonight, Derek, is liquid propane. And for the folks, okay, so for all of us Barbecue Central Show historians, we know about the Bristle brush situation. Oh, we've probably also heard about the 20-pound liquid propane bottle, exchange or refill. Well, I think a lot of people find it's very easy to go to Home Depot or Walgreens now, or my Giant Eagle grocery store, or the Ace, where they have the cage of available propane bottles that are full. So you swap it in and out, you pay your $25 or whatever it is, and away you go. Well, little do you know, that's a 20-pound bottle with 15 pounds of propane in it, because that's an actual regulation. So is the law that an exchange was only regulated then to 15 pounds instead of the 20, or was that when that overfill protection thing went in that it dropped to 15? How did it work out?
Well, the overfill protection became an industry standard in 2000. And one, a 20-pound bottle, a 20-pound propane tank holds 17 and a half pounds. It's kind of like a 2x4 isn't 2x4 inches. It's, you know, 3 and a half and whatever. Yeah, so you can get about 17 and a half pounds in one, unless it's, you know, but propane can, is at different volumes at different temperatures. So if it's really cold, you can get more in there than if it's really warm. But when the exchanges started coming in, they started filling them at 15, never told anyone that. They didn't say, oh, we're only filling these to 15. There wasn't a regulation for it either. It wasn't like they were following the law. They tried to insinuate that there was, and then they tried to push for there to be one, but you can still fill a 20-pound tank at 17 and a half pounds. But if you go to an exchange tank, there's 15 pounds. And now they have to actually say that. There was a class action lawsuit.
Yes.
And they lost. And if you bought from Blue Rhino or Feral Gas somewhere between 2011, 2014, you might be due compensation. Call your lawyer. It's probably like $1, maybe $2.
But I mean, the point of the matter is the gas company decided that they were just going to stick it to you and not tell you, hoping that nobody would be any of the wiser.
Right. I mean, I guess they just figured that most of us would never go, wow, I'm just going through a lot more propane than I used to.
Right.
But people noticed, because it very quickly came up with, I went and I filled this tank at, you know, a reputable refill location, and I weighed it versus the one I just got from the exchange, and it's 2.5 pounds, 3 pounds lighter than the other one. So people noticed it. But there is actually another side of it, and that is that AmeriGas was found that on their tanks they had a valve in place, and they're all actually really the same company. AmeriGas, Feral Gas, Blue Rhino, it's all the same consolidation of companies. Their valve won't empty the tank. I mean, you can't get all of the propane out of a tank, but their valve was designed to keep a pound or two inside of it still.
Wow-wee.
So you got 15 pounds, and you could get maybe 13 and a half pounds out of it. So they were kind of stealing 4 pounds off of you.
No doubt.
And and plus, you know, I recognize it's convenient. I mean, you know, and in a lot of places now you can get somebody to, you know, you put your empty tank out on the front porch or on the curbside, and a truck will come by and pick it up and give you a full one, you know, but you pay for it.
Yeah.
I kind of priced it right now, going right around where I am, is a refill is going to be about $16. You're 20 something at an exchange. If you want it delivered, you're up to about 28, depending upon where you are and what their routes are.
I can't even get delivery here.
Confusing.
I have to take it somewhere. I don't have any, delivery like the milkman.
Well, and the service where I live down here in Austin, they want you to subscribe to a monthly service.
Of course. Everything's a monthly subscription anymore. Spotify, or Liquid Propane, Blue Apron.
Propane by Netflix.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It's all tying in together. Oh, great.
So it's a way of making a lot more money on a fuel that is kind of a waste product of the refining process. I mean, we get propane from oil. The gasoline and the diesel from the oil is what makes all the profit. The butane, the kerosene, the propane, that's kind of bonus money for refineries. But yeah, the company's out there just figuring out how to squeeze a couple extra bucks at everybody on every propane tank.
That's right. Profit is not a dirty word in business. Derek Rich is joining us here on the show. All right, so let's transition here for the last minute or so. I was just talking with Ted Conrad from FireBoard. As you know, he gave me his list of barbecue Hall of Famers. We'll be revealing that, by the way, exclusively here on the show, 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. You are well up on barbecue issues. Did you have a chance to review the 9 semifinalists?
Yeah, I looked through the list.
Tonight, will you be revealing Derek Rich's 3 Barbecue Hall of Fame inductees?
Yeah. Sure.
All right, here we go. Number 1, in no particular order, of course.
Let me just preface this by saying that this is a Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And who goes in the Baseball Hall of Fame?
The best ever.
The best players.
Yes.
So I think that the Barbecue Hall of Fame should be for the best barbecue cooks. The people who are in the smoke. Yeah.
Okay.
We have there's other awards from other groups. If you want to have a serious Hall of Fame, then it should be about the people who are in smoke every day cooking barbecue. And that's my opinion on it. And people who really reflected the tradition of barbecue. So I would pick Desiree. I think
we like Desiree, no doubt.
It's, we've got Memphis barbecue, we've got a long-standing tradition, but also it's a family-oriented business. It's part of the community. That to me is very traditional barbecue.
All right, number 2.
I think that Rodney Scott.
All right,
and what he's been doing with Carolina barbecue, which needs to shine more. I mean, Texas barbecue's fine, but we need variety.
Easy, pal. You're in Austin. Don't gloss over that.
I know.
Wow,
I realize that.
Yeah.
Someday I'll
Rodney
drive by
Scott.
Aaron Franklin's place. But
number 3.
After that, I'm kind of torn. I'm gonna go. I would say maybe John Davidson.
You would say John Davidson, or are you going to say John Davidson?
I've got a tie.
No, bullshit. We don't do ties on the show. We're courageous. Okay. Let's go. Pick one.
You wanted a runner-up, a 4th, right? So I'm going to go with 3 would be John Davidson. Just because the whole
Oklahoma Joe, like it.
The Oklahoma Joe, all of that sort of stuff. And after that, maybe Darren Worth.
All right, Darren Worth is the bridesmaid. Like it. Darren Worth. I'm keeping track here, also in the chat. Wow. All right. Well, that's great stuff, and appreciate the stories, the insight. We will all say, and I will second, the bristle brush, don't buy that stuff. Get that weak stuff out of here, as Austin Carr would say. Plenty of other great options out there. I just ordered my dad the Grill Rescue pad. You see that real beefcake dude, brushing. No bristles. It looks like it gets wet, too, and it steam cleans. It's supposed to be stops bullets, too, so if you're really good, flipping it up, if you're getting shot, you can save your life. So I'm pretty excited. I mean, it was $50.
With it.
It's $51 for one unit after shipping. So, Dad, I hope you enjoy that. I'm never buying you another Father's Day gift again for at least 5 years. But I guess we'll see. I'll report back on how it works.
Okay, I'd love to hear that.
All right, we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, you catch up with Derek over at DerekRiches.com and check him out here on the fourth Tuesday of every month. Derek, always appreciate the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. See you in a month.
You got it. There he is. Derek from DerekRiches.com right there. Yes, sir. I thought he was going to flake on me. Man, I was going to get pissed. He was earning his way right up. The regulars have to bring it strong. We got to bring it strong. World famous Oklahoma Johns. No. Joe John Davidson. Joe John Davidson is his name. All right, we're wrapping up the first hour. I got to keep that. Second hour. If you want to jump in, give me your whatchamacallits. Give me your top 3 in the chat. Backyard Barbecue Show wanting to know, where did all the chicken sandwich hype go? No shit. Gonzo. Hey, Kinger, I got one better. Who has benefited the most from coronavirus sparking up when it did? Answer, Weber. That smoke fire was on fire in the form of bad press. Coronavirus hit. You have not heard shit about the Weber smoke fire. Period. Easily the company that has benefited the most from a PR standpoint as coronavirus is considered. That's going to be an end-of-the-year story for me, too, by the way. All right, we're back to wrap the first hour right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Discussing barbecue topics at breakneck speed and with expert accuracy. Or later from trouble. This portion of the show being brought to you by FireBoard. Monitor up to 6 different temperatures simultaneously. Connect via Wi-Fi for cloud-based monitoring or Bluetooth if you want. If you have Alexa or the Google Assistant, you're in mega luck because FireBoard is fully integrated with both. You can find out more by visiting FireBoard.com or call 816-945-2232. And don't forget, as Ted Conrad had introduced in the first segment of the show, there is now FireBoard 2 and FireBoard 2 Drive. So if you want something a little bit more updated, you want the latest tech, FireBoard 2 and FireBoard 2 Drive are the ones that you want to real sexy and robust outer shell. Weather resistant. Ted left his out on the deck for 2 or 3 days on purpose in the rain in Kansas City with no issues. Buttons integrated on the side now, still 6 channels, really cool, sexy display screen, both graphing in big numbers. They also had a flashing LED light. Great stuff. Get over there. FireBoard.com. Thanks again to Derek Riches from DerekRiches.com. We're inviting you to throw away all of your bristly brushes. Stop that. No bristlies. Nobody weighing in on the instant chat with their Hall of Famers. So they either don't care or they're too scared to give me their thoughts. We'll figure it out as we run through the break here. Second hour is coming up. Plenty to get to on the other side. If you want to jump in, hit me up, 216-220-0966 or Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. We are back right after this. Stick around.
this is Austin Parsons, Pitmaster with Smoky Mountain Q in Nashville, Tennessee, and you are listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me.
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the Charbono, dude!
Succulent fish! What?
He ate 54 wieners.
So listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
Welcome to the second hour, everybody. It's the Barbecue Central Show. Doing it live right here. Every Tuesday from 9 to 11 p.m. If you missed the first hour, no problem. We're recording. It'll be up on podcast here a little bit later. Actually, later in the morning tomorrow, like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Posting to the feed is its own animal. Like I posted at 11:55, like in an hour and 55 minutes from now. But it doesn't matriculate into the feed or propagate into the interwebs for sometimes hours. It takes forever. That's all right. What I did. Christ. If you want to get in touch with me, 216-220-0966. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com is the email address. You can also follow me socially at BBQ Central Show on Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat and TikTok. You can also take a look at me /BBQ Central Show on Facebook. So check me out there. There's also a video feed if you want to check out the whole situation over there. Coming up this Friday on the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less, episode 126 hits the feed. This one being pulled from May 28th, 2013. And I talked with Cal Phelps, who is the editor-in-chief of the National Barbecue News. That is, or was originally a paper publication, if you can believe it. And over time, they have grown into having to pivot into digital in order to stay relevant, in order to stay in business. They were one of the first, if not the first, truly barbecue-specific publication out there in Georgia. And for a number of years, they ran one of the more high-profile barbecue contests, which was called the Best of the Best. I think that was in is it South Carolina that they're in? But Best of the Best was a freestanding contest, and this was an invitational. So if you, I don't want to misspeak, but I know it took from a number of different sanctioning bodies. It's been so long since Best of the Best has went by the wayside, but I believe there was no priority given to one sanctioning body or the other, but it was basically a contest where you could go, if you could get there, you were eligible to go in, but I think you had to win. There was some kind of form of a winning criteria, but Best of the Best was, widely considered 2008, 2009, maybe a little earlier than that. Was widely considered to be one of the most prestigious competitions to win outside of the Norm Jack, the American Royal, things like that. Best of the Best was right in there with that one. But that eventually fell off. And National Barbecue News is a great story, and we talked with the editor, Cal Phelps, in 2013. That would be May. So that's episode 126. You have to be subscribed to the podcast feed in order to get the best of shows. Remember that. Otherwise, you have to visit the website every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in order to get these podcasts. So make sure that you're subscribed to the feed on any podcast platform. Just go into the podcast platform that you like the best, search Barbecue Central Show, and then subscribe from there. You're alerted when all the stuff hits the feed. That way you don't have to even remember anything. You'll just get the alert, and away you can go and listen. There you go. As I had mentioned in the first hour, tomorrow, programming note, there will be a live show.
We'll do it live. Okay.
3 p.m. Eastern, where I will be rejoined by Emily Park from the American Royal Association. She's the manager at the World Series of Barbecue. And we will announce the class of 2020 for the Barbecue Hall of Fame. As I quickly peruse, the Smoke Sheet Barbecue newsletter says Desiree, Aaron Franklin, and Bill Arnold. Darren Worth is the bridesmaid. That's 2 for him. Tucker says John Davidson, Meathead, and Aaron Franklin. All right. Guy, the Cooking Sam does not guess. Maddie and Kiki, ain't nothing wrong with a little bristle brush. That's very dangerous thinking, Maddie and Kiki. How dare you? America's Hat weighing in with their bristle know-how. Don't do it, ladies. Get rid of that bristle brush. You would do it. All right. Another email. Here we go. Hey, Greg, caught the show last night. This is from a couple weeks ago. I apologize. Hey, Greg, caught the show last night. Awesome. I always look forward to your interviews. It's nice to put a voice and attitude with the people who follow and broaden our culinary horizons. With the uncertainty of how restaurants are going to reopen and when, friends and I have been discussing the possibility of a big grilling season. But how are we going to approach this? If I cook a 15-pound brisket, I'm cooking for a group, then I want to share the labors with others. Now, if I invite people in the past, I would just say, bring a dessert or a side, and I'll take care of everything else. The idea of community bowl of potato salad doesn't sound as attractive this year as it did in years past. What about a tray of brownies? We all have a ton of money and time wrapped up in perfecting our passion. How can we still enjoy it with the Rona, his words in quotation, the Rona looming over our heads? Wondering if you had this discussion with anyone or thought about the topic yourself. If so, what are your views? I also thought it could be a future fun topic. Stay healthy. Regards, Rod Schrader or Schroeder. I can never tell with that last name. I'm going to go with Schrader, which means it's probably Schroeder. Rod, I apologize. Let's just say Rod. That's way funner to say than the last name. Rod. Okay, Rod. I have thought about this because there isn't any bigger fan of community barbecue than this guy. I have fenced off my yard with my neighbor on purpose. We have fenced away other people from the back, other sides, not the guy to the left. We didn't mean to wall off the other, but there was a fence already there, for crying out loud. We replaced it when we added the other, but we fenced in neighbor Desmond, and we have formed what we have called the compound. We did it on purpose. We wanted to bring in the people that we wanted. We wanted to keep out the people that we didn't want. We wanted free access to either of our yards for community barbecue and grilling. So much community, in fact, that Desmond last year walked over to my yard and stole my pit barrel cooker. It now sits on his deck. My cooker sits on his deck. And no, I'm not going to get it back because he can eat my lunch. Are you kidding me? Have you seen neighbor Desmond? He liked it. He took it. It's community grilling. I mean, if I wanted to go, I could go over to Desmond's house, knock on the door and say, hey, Desmond, you mind if I use my cooker that you stole from me? And he said, yeah, go ahead. You can use your own cooker. I'll let you. Fine. Now, when you talk about these community barbecues now, quite honestly, I don't even have any idea what the fuck is going on anymore. I mean, you read so many new things every day. My best advice, and I'm not taking any political side here or there, so Alexis, send me or save the email. If you want to have big community barbecue gatherings where there isn't space or distance, it's perfectly up to you. I would also say that if perhaps you got sick later, you might want to mark that date down and be able to reference that. Maybe it's mere coincidence. I don't think I'm going to be having a huge barbecue gathering. I don't think I am. Now, I could be wrong. I mean, who knows? Maybe I would. But I don't think I am right now. But here's the other thing I can say. So I would choose some distance. When we have a compound barbecue right now, I know where the Motleys have been for the last 8 months. They've been in their freaking house just like we have. But if we had some other people come over, we'd stay distant. We'd share, but we stay distant. Here's the most important part. You talk about this community bowl of potato salad or pot brownies. Wait a second. You didn't say pot brownies. You said brownies. I said pot brownies. My bad. Here's the one thing that you need to keep in mind. Regardless of social distancing or not, if the coronavirus gets on your pot brownies or gets on your heroin-laced potato salad or your crack-garnished deviled eggs, the minute you put it in your mouth and swallow it, the coronavirus is dead. You're not getting the coronavirus because of a community bowl of potato salad or brownies or deviled eggs. If all of your food is infected with corona, as long as you don't stick your hands in your eyeballs or in your mouth, when you swallow it, your stomach kills it. So don't worry about the eating part. Worry about if you want to be distant or not. That's it. Do what you feel is comfortable. I'm not going to tell you what you should do. But if you want to do something wacky, mark the date and look back just in case. And if nothing happens, fine. Good. Nobody wants to get more back to normal than me and some of my other panel members. I mean, we're contributing members to goddamn society over here. Let's go. We're ready. We like money. Right, John? We like money. Fucking A right, we like money. Hey, Big Papa Smokers is the one-stop online shop for all things barbecue. Their curated selection of only the best outdoor cooking and grilling supplies will get you on the path to better barbecue results in no time. Everything at Big Papa Smokers has been Pitmaster approved by Sterling Big Papa Ball himself. From the award-winning rubs and sauces to the American-made grills and smokers, Big Papa's has everything you need to be a better outdoor cook. How many rubs and seasonings? 13 perfectly balanced flavors. How about titles like Sweet Money and Happy Ending? Everybody loves the Happy Ending rub, right? Love it. I like Double Secret, Steak Rub, and Cash Cow, all that fun stuff. They also own Granny's Barbecue Sauce, so if you're looking for a great sauce, that's one you want to try. And they got the cookers, right? If you're looking for an easy-to-use, versatile grill, the Mac 2-Star General Pellet Grill is the one you're going to want to take a look at. Big Papa's the exclusive Mac dealer, even offering special packages. If you're not a fan of the pellet cooker, okay, how about the Old Hickory Ace BP, the only charcoal cooker that Big Papa trusts on his competition trail? Have any questions, call them, 877-828-0727, because you really can't go wrong with whatever they have on the website. But if you have questions, 877-828-0727. Shop the website, bigpapasmokers.com. That's BIGPOPPA smokers.com. And the embedded correspondence coming up here. John Solberg in the green room. Jeff Reiser in the green room. And I don't think Doug's in the green room yet. I think that was the picture from a little earlier during sound check. But we'll get him in here. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Monthly visits from a killer hog, a cooking guy, a man named Meathead, the author of Barbecue Bible, a grill girl, a bristly barbecue journalist, and the malfeasance of the barbecue world known as the embedded correspondents. Only found right here on the Barbecue Central Show.
This portion of the show being brought to you by Pit Barrel Cooker, the most unbelievable outdoor cooking device on the planet, currently available in 2 sizes with a host of accessories. Whether you're a beginner or professional, this is definitely a cooker you want to add to the arsenal. Visit pitbarrelcooker.com. Tell them the Barbecue Central Show sent you. Don't forget, 4th quarter this year, PBX. the extra large 50 or so plus gallon cooker. You've clamored about a bigger pit barrel, and now you will get a bigger pit barrel. Don't forget the lifestyle room, soon to be open to the general public, so you can share in the pit barrel lifestyle. All right, it is the 4th Tuesday of the month. You know what that means, a visit from the embedded correspondents. That's right. So we welcome in Jeff Reiser, and we welcome in John Solberg, and I would say we're welcoming in Doug Scheiding, but I guarantee goddamn Doug is not there. I'm not even going to try and do the whole "Are you there, Doug?" because I'm pretty sure I can tell. John, how are you this evening?
Doing fantastic. Thanks so much for asking.
Right. And Jeff Reiser, how are you in Wisconsin?
I am perfect. Glad to be here, bud.
All right. And Doug Scheiding, how are you in Texas? I know all about it. You don't have to say anything. Must be raining down. I mean, Texas has really gotten quite a substantial amount of rain from what I understand here recently. So maybe it's all backed up into the pipes underground. I wouldn't assume that Doug lives in any kind of a neighborhood that actually has old-fashioned power poles and internet poles like I have in my very middle-class neighborhood. These are probably all ridden or driven underground to have an aesthetically pleasing neighborhood. So, big day tomorrow, guys. As you all know, we'll be announcing the Barbecue Hall of Fame class for 2020. So I thought it would be a good idea for us to really dig in here, where we would generate our own individual lists of 3 who we would be putting in tomorrow if we had our druthers. And then perhaps, however slim the chances might be, that we come up with a unanimous decision. I mean, that would be great. We're all on the same page. However, if we don't, we'll see who do we have in common. Well, we'll write those down. And if we have one in common, we'll go back around and we'll try and see if we can't come up with a unanimous second, a unanimous third, basically culminating into our own Barbecue Central, who we would put in for the Hall of Fame tomorrow. And then, of course, we have to have our 4th place, which I'm becoming increasingly enamored with as we continue to talk about it. Made its way into the chat. Maybe that was even this morning, and I became quickly attached to that whole idea of figuring out who the 4th person is. So, here we go. Hey, look, here's Doug Scheiding right here on the show. Hey, Doug. You there?
Yep.
Rain in the subdivision, right? Is that what it was?
No.
No? Okay.
Changed computer options.
Oh, all right. Yeah, good idea. Let's do that right before the show. Yeah. Never heard anybody.
I know. I couldn't get in.
Never heard anybody. All right. So I was just regaling the other 2 guys, Doug, about what the plan is here for this evening and how we're going to be going around and giving our 3. Now, let's do this first. John, you go ahead and start. As you peruse the semi-final list of 9, just up and down, are there any highlights or lowlights or things that you would kind of, if you were talking to this list with some noob or rube, are any things that you would talk specifically about?
I think overall it's a solid list. I think there's a weak spot in the list, but I think I could speak pretty well about 8 of the 9. One of them I'm maybe a bit lacking in their resume, and I'm not quite sure why they're there. All right.
Doug, what do you think of the list overall?
I actually thought it was a really good list. I'm kind of like John in terms of there were one or I wasn't sure about being on the list, but it could be, not knowing their resume. So, but overall, I thought it was very solid.
All right, Reiser, your thoughts on the list?
They're all way cooler than me, man. So I think it's a pretty solid list.
All right.
So I mean,
are we gauging a Hall of Fame list by how cool they are compared to you?
I would think so. I think that'd be very popular.
So everybody's getting into the Hall of Fame is what you're saying. All right. Good job. Very good. All right. Jeff Rice and Doug Scheiding, John Solberg right here. So, Jeff, let's start with you. Peruse the list and then give me your 3. I will write down everybody's list here, and then we'll see if we don't come up with a unanimous 3 right off the bat. Who's going in first for Jeff Rice?
Joe Davidson.
Joe Davidson. All right. Oklahoma Joe. This is Jeff. Yep. All right. That's number 1. Number 2. Going in.
Meathead for me.
Meathead. All right.
Yeah.
Meathead. No particular order, of course. And going to number 3 for Jeff.
Desiree
Robinson. Desiree. There was a girl we played travel softball with, another pitcher. My oldest was a pitcher, and the mom's name was Desiree. And every time I would see her, I'd be like, Desiree. I don't know why I say that, but it's just my thing. Anyway, totally extraneous story. Doug, your 3. Hold on, let me give you your own heading on my paper. And number 1 in no particular order for Doug going in.
Okay. Well, I've actually had 3 different lists. One after Darren. I voted him out after he talked me out of being in it. And then I thought, well, maybe the 3 from last year. And then I heard diversity a lot in the Barbecue Hall of Fame, the people that were actually, to nominate. So I went with diversity. So you can break it up as restaurant, is Franklin, Desiree, Rodney. I went Desiree. Competition. So Desiree is my first choice under restaurant.
So freaking convoluted. All right, go ahead.
I know. Competition, Bill Arnold, Darren, and Leanne. You have to go with the GOAT, Darren. And then other is Joe Davidson, Meathead, and John Marcus, and that was a tough one.
No doubt.
And so I go Meathead.
Wow-wee. All right. Well, okay, let me quickly look here. Who was the first one, did you say?
Desiree.
Under
restaurant.
I'm sorry. My, right there, boom, and boom. All right. Now we go over to the Michigan correspondent, John Solberg. In no particular order, John, of course. You're first.
Desiree, all the way, number 1.
Well, guess what? We have Desiree as a... Okay. Actually, I haven't given mine yet. She's going to be in there. Spoiler alert. Number 2. For John.
John Marcus.
Ooh, John.
Ooh.
Look at him. All right. And rounding out the 3rd for John Solberg.
Darren Worth, the GOAT.
Wow. Darren Worth. All right. Now, Greg's list, and I gave my list also last week. However, I have not made 18 other lists, Doug. So I will remain with my original 3. Meathead is in. Yes. Number 2. And this makes it unanimous. Desiree Robinson is in. So we'll mark her over as number 1. And then 3. Darren Worth. So let's quickly go through and see who we have. So Jeff voted for Meathead, and Doug voted for Meathead, and I voted for Meathead. So guess what? Number 2 in the final 2020 list is Meathead. He's got majority vote. 3 of 4. That's 75%. Who else do we have? We have a... Desiree, we have Meathead, we have Desiree. John said Desiree. We have Darren.
GOAT.
We have me, Darren. John, you said Darren?
Yes.
All right. Here we go. Your 2020 Barbecue Central Hall of Famers that may or may not be named tomorrow. And can you imagine, guys, if we call it right here on this show through this very unscientific process of picking out who would be the class tomorrow, we could probably be like the 4 most successful weathermen in the history of weathering. We should immediately start a channel online and just start predicting the weather. I mean, this would be an absolute coup. In case you're tuning in late, the Barbecue Central Show picks of the Hall of Fame. Going in first and completely unanimous, Desiree Robinson from Cozy Corner Barbecue, Memphis staple, of course. Number 2, the second Tuesday of the month recurring guest and already a Barbecue Central Show guest Hall of Fame member, Meathead from AmazingRibs.com. And rounding out the 3, the most prolific barbecue competitor ever on the face of the earth, Darren Worth from Iowa Smoky Dukes. Wow. John, is that a list that you saw happening out of this group?
Yeah, I could see that happening. Absolutely.
All right. Doug, is this the list that you envisioned?
Yeah, I actually thought John Marcus might get a couple of votes from our group. So, yeah.
Jeff, what did you think about the list? Is this something that you thought would come from this brain trust?
Yeah, pretty close. I mean, I was thinking John Marcus myself, but he is kind of my number 4 that you want to know.
Dude, you did not just blow the load all over them. I mean, come on. Dude,
Yeah,
relax.
kinda,
What are you 13 and getting your first piece? I mean, relax, pal. Let's slow roll this date. All right. So when I look at this list, I'm surprised that I am both surprised and not surprised that Darren is on this list. I do buy into a little bit of what Doug is saying. Like, Darren goes out of his way. In fact, I had texted him earlier and said, hey, as we announce tomorrow, if you are named, can I attempt at making a phone call to you for like instant reaction? And he said, sure, but I don't plan on you calling me anyway. I'm still too young. I don't know if he's just being modest or if he really feels like that, but he certainly comes across as being very genuine when he says it, which makes me want to buy back my want to stick him in there. But the votes don't lie. I mean, he's in that list here, so we'll see how it goes. And I tend to agree, too, that I thought John Marcus might have been a little bit more represented here in the list, considering the amount of people that he has inspired. Although, well, let me ask you this, Jeff. Do you know John Marcus to be anything other than somebody that does barbecue television?
That's kind of how I know him, obviously, from the Pitmasters. So, and that inspired me, let's say, from watching that stuff to start my own YouTube channel. If they can do it, well, I can try it too.
Really? That inspired you to do that, the Pitmaster show?
Yeah, I mean, well, the Pitmaster show, yeah, when you watch it and it's like, okay, I'm a backyard barbecue guy, but when you see that you can be entertaining and make content, yeah, it was a big thing. I watched a lot of that back when it was first started.
Jeff, I don't want to throw this back in your face, but you did not vote for John Marcus at all.
Yeah, I know I didn't.
How dare you?
I went with Desiree. I went with the Desiree just because I think she's worked really hard in Memphis, and the way that her husband died, and she still kept on pushing on, man. I mean, I think she's a strong woman, and she deserves it. To be honest with you,
Doug, are you? What do you think of John Marcus when you hear his name? Is it solely television?
Yeah, solely television, but isn't he an Emmy Award winning person as well as from the Cosby Show and those sorts of things?
Yeah,
so
executive producer, writer, Late Line, Cosby Show, co-creator of Different World, spinoff of the Cosby Show. I mean, the list goes on. But I mean, from a barbecue, TV aside, I mean, certainly we know he's successful. But is there anything other than the TV show that you relate? I guess what I'm trying to not so subtly ask is, when you listen to the show back from last week, they all talked about wanting to see a fairly diverse bill of skill that this person or that person has brought forth. So do you think that John fits a diverse bill, or is he specific niche?
Yeah, I think he kind of fit in my other non-restaurant, non-competition kind of category. So that's what I put him in. So yeah, he has a specialty. Meathead does too. Joe Davidson did too. They're just in different areas.
John, do you think that John Marcus is solely television? Is that how you think of him when you hear him?
Full disclosure, I have never in my life seen a John Marcus television barbecue show. I've never seen Barbecue Pitmasters. I've never seen one on Destination America. I've never seen one. Ever. Never have. I gotta save something for the nursing home. So that said,
you've never watched one friggin' minute of a Barbecue Pitmaster show ever in your life?
Never.
Not even when it was on CBS that one time?
Never.
Never
seen it. Never. I was too busy cooking while you guys were figuring out how to watch
Hold on
people
a second.
cook.
Hold on, John. We're going to quickly go around the dais. Doug, is John lying, yes or no?
He has to be.
Of course. Of course he's lying.
I'm not lying.
Jeff, is John lying? He's never watched a minute of Barbecue Pitmasters ever?
I think it's a white lie. I think he's just kind of forgot that he has actually watched it.
I didn't have Destination America when it was on. Wasn't even aware it was happening.
John, I hate to say this,
but
the group thinks you're a liar. You're a liar, John.
Well, they can. Hey.
All right. We'll take you at your
None
word.
of us would be talking.
Right.
And none of us would be here talking if it wasn't for John Marcus.
Nope.
YouTubers would not have been inspired. I wouldn't be in this chair. You know, what happened, what John Marcus did is way above and beyond me not watching his show. And I think history will bring that to be the truth.
Are you really saving Pitmasters for the adult diaper years?
Yeah, that and The Walking Dead. I've never seen one of those either.
Okay, well, I've never seen a minute of Walking Dead either, but I think I can get away with that. If I said I never watched a Pitmaster show, somebody might flip their lid. All right, here we go. This is the funnest part of the whole deal. Your bridesmaid, or number 4, for a completely surprise answer, we go to Jeff Rice.
I had the yups, and I said it early.
Who was it?
I was too excited, man. I mean, I was flipping coins this afternoon on my last vote. So
it was John Marcus, right?
Yeah, well, it was either him or Desiree, and I was like flipping coins. So
wow,
it was
all
hard.
right. Doug answers number 4.
Aaron Franklin.
Right. John Solberg has number 4 right up his sleeve.
Well, my number 4 was Meathead, but he's in the run, so I'm sticking Marcus in my number 4 spot.
All right. Well, it's either good news or bad news, no matter how you look at it. My vote for number 4, and this validates number 4, John Marcus. That makes him a bridesmaid and not a bride, also a unanimous 75% winner. So, once again, Desiree Robinson, Meathead, and Darren Worth are getting into the Hall of Fame, and just so shy is John Marcus, executive producer of The Cosby Show. Guy wrote with one of the most prolific rapists of our time, and he didn't even know it. Wow. Crazy. Cosby kook. All right, so we have all of that done, and we still have a couple minutes here in this segment. So, biggest news story that has overshadowed, or that has been overshadowed by the coronavirus. John, what are your thoughts?
Sorry, I heard something. I've got to go with your Weber idea. I mean, how can you? Yeah, where to go?
No doubt. Doug, biggest story that this is what they always say. Like, there was some huge story going on, and then something else huge hit, and it was like the best thing that ever happened because somebody was rolled up into something really bad and it was about ready to go off the rail, and then all of a sudden something else happened and boom, they were saved. What do you think?
Rudy Giuliani.
Rudy Giuliani? Was he
yeah,
in the news?
You never hear about him anymore. He was in the news all the damn time.
I just thought he got fired.
And all. Oh, gosh. No, you never hear his name. Have you heard his name since COVID started?
No, I certainly haven't.
No.
All right. Jeff, biggest story that was happening before COVID that saved their ass when COVID hit.
The Green Bay Packers drafted a quarterback in their number 1 spot.
You're right. Oh, my God. That's only somebody in Wisconsin is like 24/7 Green Bay. Wow. That's a huge pull. No doubt. I go back and fully solidify my thought that the Weber smoke fire was really taking huge dumpster fire heat on all of the Facebook groups. People talking about, when is Weber going to recall this? And I'm bringing my 6 Weber smoke fires back to Lowe's. Leave them in the trash. People, do you remember? There were people saying if you just go around the back of Lowe's can't actually return to Weber, so just pick them out of the dumpster. They're just there free for the taking. Take the grease fire and go take it, whatever. Unbelievable what people will say on the internet these days. All right, guys. We are getting ready for the American Idol edition. You can see that the expert judges have filed in. Wave hi there, ladies. I'm sorry. We'll get to you right at the top. We got to do a quick read, and then we will get you up to get your news story in. I'll talk to you quickly about Southside Market and Barbecue. Established in 1882, Southside Market and Barbecue, the oldest barbecue joint in Texas. They have been owned and operated by the same family for 3 generations, offering premium Central Texas barbecue products, slow smoked over real wood, shipping, distributing, manufacturing sausages for companies across the U.S. From food trucks to multi-chain restaurants, Southside Sausage could be on your menu too. All meats are processed in the on-site USDA-inspected facility, a trusted partner with a focus on quality and authenticity. Wholesale options are available, shipping nationwide via FedEx Food Service distribution. Via Cisco, U.S. Foods, and Martin Foods are also available. They're co-packaging capable from research and development to package completion. They can follow your recipe or help you develop something private and new. Private label opportunities are also available. Visit SouthsideMarket.com for more information. And while you're shopping at SouthsideMarket.com, as you get ready to check out, use promo code BBQ Central. That's BBQ CENTRAL. That's BBQ Central, all one word, lowercase. And you can get 10% off the entire order. Yeah. That's promo code BBQ Central. This time and the next time and every time, not just the first time. We're ready for the American Idol Barbecue Central Show edition finale, where there will be a duet recorded, and then Jeff Rice and myself will take turns singing live for your absolute desecration right here on this show. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show right here on the Barbecue Central Network. Stick around. Be right back.
Celebrating over 10 years of prolific and unparalleled live fire barbecue and grilling talk. And yes, it's still being done from Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
Hey, this portion of the show being brought to you by Smithfield. Head over to smithfield.com throughout the grilling season for recipes as well as tips and tricks from world champion pitmasters like Chris Lilly, Darren Worth, Ernest Cervantes, and Charles Cridlin. With mouth-watering flavor and no artificial ingredients, Smithfield Fresh Pork is quite simply the finest pork money can buy. It's a trusted choice of world championship pitmasters for use at home and at competitions. How about that? All right, we may or may not have a news story here, so we go to the expert panelists from left to right on your screen. Say hi, Maddie Rempe. Say hi. Flip on the mic. Oh.
Good night.
Flip on the mic. Yeah, there we go.
Hello.
Hey. In the middle, we have Bobby. Say hi.
Hi.
And Willis. Say hi.
Hi.
All right. There you go. All right. What's the news story? But we're not going to eat on the microphone or do this. We're going to be professional
This is why
here
she should
this
be
evening.
kicked out.
Oh, my God. I mean, why would you put that in your mouth? I mean, here we go. We're getting ready to throw it to you for a news story. All right. So what's the news story? Oh, my dear Lord. What are we doing over Jeez. John is crying from the unprofessionalism being exhibited.
Okay. NASA found a parallel universe where time goes backwards.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Is this a joke or is this real?
I swear to God. I saw it on Twitter.
Well, then it must be true.
Definitely fake.
What is a parallel universe exactly?
It's the opposite.
Well, that would be an opposite universe, wouldn't it?
Oh, wait. It means it's a cross.
Huh.
Parallel.
Great. This was just announced on Twitter?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
last week.
Yeah, but it's news. Like the UFOs are real.
Marley, do you know anything about parallel universe?
And time travel.
Yes, time travel is real as well.
The government confirmed it.
All right, ladies, welcome to American Idol Barbecue Central Show finale. Can't wait.
I wish.
Last week, it feels like last week. Time has just been ripping by, but last month, Jeff Rice and myself were voted through. In case you missed it, this is what Jeff Rice sounded like.
Oh, people, don't you understand? A child needs a helping hand, or he's gonna be an angry young man someday.
Remember that, right, ladies? Remember that?
Yeah.
Take a look at you
And
and me.
this is what Doug sounded like because Doug got voted off. So,
Heck.
just so we can recap quickly.
Jesse is a friend.
You guys remember that?
Yeah, I know he's been a good friend of mine.
Get that auto tune.
Again with the auto tune. Keep going with that. Right.
Jesse's got
And then this was me getting through. Singing a little 80s hit from Terrence Trent D'Arby. All right, there we go. There we go. Now, this is the final. So, ladies, any advice to me and Jeff as we are preparing mentally for our live singing? Because first we're going to be playing Duet, a pre-recorded duet. I have it ready to go here. Any advice? Actually, let's do it like a regular show. Here we go. Before we get to the live, ladies and gentlemen, because that's what everybody's tuning in for, just like they do in these dumb singing shows, Jeff Rice and I have teamed up for a finale duet. And it sounds a little something like this. Sing it if you know it.
Well, I walk into the room, passing out $100 bills, and it kills and it thrills like the horns on my Silverado grill. And I'm by the bar, double round the crown, and everybody's getting down in this town. Ain't never gonna be the same. Cause I saddle up my horse and I ride into the city. I make a lot of noise cause the girls, they are so pretty. Riding up and down Broadway on my old stud Leroy, and the girls say, save a horse, ride a cowboy. Everybody says, save a horse, ride a cowboy. Well, I don't give a dang about nothing, and I'm singing and bling-blinging while the girls are drinking. Long necks down, and I wouldn't trade old Leroy or my Chevrolet for your Escalade and your freak parade. I'm the only John Wayne left in this town when I saddle up my horse and I ride into the city. I make a lot of noise, cause the girls, they are so pretty. Riding up and down Broadway on my old stud Leroy, and the girls say, save a horse, ride a cowboy. Everybody say, save a horse, ride a cowboy. I'm a thoroughbred, that's what she said in the back of my truck bed as I was getting buzzed on suds out on some backcountry road. We were flying high, fine as wine, having a barbecue central time, and I was going just about as far as she let me go. But her evaluation of my cowboy reputation had me begging for salvation all night long. So I took her out, gigging frogs, introduced her to my old bird dog, and sang her every Willie Nelson song I could think of. We made love, and I saddle up my horse, and I ride into the city. I make a lot of noise, cause the girls, they are so pretty. Ride up and down Broadway, everybody says, eat a horse, ride a cowboy. What? Eat a horse, ride a cowboy. Everybody said, eat a horse, ride a cowboy.
All right, there you have it. Wow. The duet of duets. Quickly, we go to the expert panel in studio. Marley, your initial thoughts. You can't clap with the microphone on. It makes me want to blow my head off. Marley, your thoughts of the duet with Jeff Rice and myself.
I think it was pretty good. I think you had more. I feel like you had more heart into it. I feel like you really.
Remember, this was a duet with very distinct harmonizations. I'm not saying that you can't say I was better. In fact, I would encourage it. However, I want your honest opinion. Marley, anything else?
No.
All right. Bobby, your thoughts?
I thought the harmonizing could have been better. It was a little.
It wasn't going to get better than that.
Well, it could have been. I feel like the lower part of the song
felt. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Felt less passionate.
All right. Maddie, your thoughts on Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy?
I think the harmonization could have definitely been a lot better because it didn't sound very good, but that's okay. Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Otherwise, it was good.
The harmonization could have been better. The whole song was harmonization, so that means the whole song
I mean,
was
like,
bad.
it sounded good,
It
but
just didn't sound
was
good together.
Also, yeah.
All right, Doug, as you listen to the produced live song, your thoughts on Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy? Are you on mute, Doug?
Didn't this happen to him last time?
Yes, you're on.
Yeah, I
All right.
am. I am.
Welcome
And
to
I'm not
First
even
Time.
drinking tonight.
First
I'm not
timer
even
of the
drinking
show.
tonight.
First timer on the show. Good to have you, Doug. Your thoughts?
I found it interesting the three ladies didn't accuse either one of you of auto-tune. So, but I thought you had the riffs from both of you were great, and Greg, you really got into the "We Made Love" kind of song.
That's right. All man here. John, your expert opinion on Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy?
First of all, I assume that was a double ender where you both recorded your parts and then an engineer melded those together.
Yes,
so
100%.
my hats off to the engineer on
Right,
that
thank you.
one.
Yeah, thank
and
you.
I
I'll
think
take that.
individually,
Thank you.
that was a stellar mix.
Yep.
And I do think individually, both audio tracks were done very, very well. And it would be really hard to sync it up any better than you did. It was no distraction to me at all.
All right. So there you go. That's the first part of our time here this evening. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here it comes to the live performance. All right, so here we go to the expert panel of judges. Once again, it is a unanimous vote from you three. Who goes first, Jeff or me?
Jeff.
Wow, okay.
Jeff
goes first. So
what if I didn't say Jeff? What would happen?
then it would be me.
Oh, can I say something about the whole how you guys said eat a horse?
I like
something
that.
happened at work where somebody said, "Oh my God, did you eat horse?" And I looked at them. I was like, "Actually, eating horse is not legal," and I only know that because of you.
My shirt.
That's right.
I
The
wish
shirts.
I
That's
wish
right.
I would have worn my
Yes,
shirt.
Horse
Infected.
Meat 2020.
If the guy
I
who-
want a T-shirt.
If the guy who makes them is watching the show, I want a new
Oh, he's
one.
watching, all right.
I need a new
I would
one.
like one, please.
All right.
Thank you.
You want a 2020 horse meat shirt?
Please do it.
Affecting the youth of America.
Yep.
All right, Jeff, so you go ahead and give me a finger, not the finger, but a finger of when you are ready to go, and I will duck the bed, and off you'll be running. Ladies,
What?
Jeff is getting ready, please.
Can you
Here we
turn
go.
us off?
buddy. Barbecue is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. Bound by a wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. You guys can sing along. You heard this in the tavern. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. The taste of sauce is sweet when hearts like ours meet. I fell for you like a child. Oh, but the heart is wild. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. It went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 a ring of fire, the ring of fire. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire, the ring of fire, the ring of fire, the ring of fire.
There he is, Jeff Rice, right there. Wowee. The barbecue ring of fire. Judges are all over it. They like it a lot. So we'll quickly head over to the judges for their expert opinion. Maddie, go ahead first.
Wait, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Could he see us while he's
No,
singing?
no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you probably could see them, right, Jeff? Unless you weren't looking. Yeah, he was being distracted. All right.
Okay, I was going to clarify.
That's right. Go ahead, Maddie, with your thought.
I didn't think it was bad, but at some points when you were kind of like shaking your voice a little bit, you kind of sounded like a pirate.
I thought it sounded, I don't know how.
Bobby, what do you think?
But I mean, it wasn't bad.
Shut up. I thought it was good. It was probably your best yet.
Oh.
But I also think
Live.
that you went with a safer song.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it was good, but I think...
Not risky?
No, there
yeah,
weren't
I
any
mean, this is
fronts.
the finale, and I was really hoping to be wowed, and I'm getting all of this from America's Got Talent.
Got it.
And I just think you could have done something riskier, but I think it was good.
That really tested your limits.
Tested the limits again. All right, Marley, your thought?
I thought it was pretty good. I feel like the song you chose matched your song out of all of the songs you've sang. So
Good voice match, you mean?
Yes, that's what I meant. My bad. I don't know English.
That's fine. All right, Jeff, your thoughts on the critique. I think overall they were saying that by and large, and coming from a live perspective, which is doubly hard to do, this could be your best effort yet.
Well, I appreciate it. I get where they're saying that maybe push myself, but I am not a rock star, even if I look like one. So,
Indeed.
but I worked hard at it. I worked hard at it, and because I decided yesterday that I was going to do this song. So there was a lot of preparation into it.
I can see. Well, I mean, that's one of the things that you have to really strive for is preparation, weeks in advance of prepping the throat and getting sure that everything is ready to go. All right, so that is Jeff Rice. You will have 1 week to vote before we pick a winner next week. So Jeff is saying vote for him. Girls, who do you want to hear next?
Me. Okay, you.
Josh.
Well, it's going to be me.
Yeah.
It's only me and Rice are
God.
left. All right, so let's go ahead and vote now. As we talk about unsafe songs, I believe the song I am about to sing is as unsafe as it gets. Pushing all of the limits. In fact, I'm going off the chair so I can make sure that I open up my diaphragm enough so I can even attempt to get these notes. But I got to make sure that I have proper social distancing from the mic so I don't blow the capsule off this $500 microphone.
Give it coronavirus.
Or give it coronavirus. That's right, Bobby.
Do we know what song you're singing?
Probably not. It's a mid-90s R&B smash by Brian McKnight called Anytime.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. All right. Well, let me, as I
Okay,
get
bye.
ready to wow the universe, I give you a live version of Brian McKnight's Anytime.
for something that was so meant to be. Forever was the promise in our heart, but more and more I wonder where you are. Do I ever cross your mind anytime? Do you ever wake up reaching out for me? Do I ever cross your mind anytime? I miss you.
For the ladies.
Still have your picture in a frame. Hear your footsteps down the hall. I swear I hear your voice. It's driving me insane. How I wish that you would go to see. Would I ever cross your mind anytime? Do you ever wake up reaching out for me? Do I ever cross your mind anytime? You, I miss you.
There we go. Oh. No, let me get back on this chair. Right out loud. And we open up the microphone for a little instant feedback. All right.
Bobby first.
Bobby first.
We go to Bobby first. Here we go.
Okay, Greg.
Most critical. Here we go. Let's have it. Both barrels.
I liked the song. Hi.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, it was Mom.
Yeah.
I liked the song. You had like a rasp in your voice at sometimes, and at certain times it also sounded like it flowed very well and sounded very good, but then I think once you reached up there a little bit, it was a little bit not as flowy. But, I mean, I liked it.
Did I push my limits?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know. It was good. I don't know.
I can't tell Jeff that he didn't push his
No,
limits.
yes, I can, because his was like a...
It was one note, the whole song.
Well, that and like it sounded like...
Be nice. Jeff's on the phone still.
I know. It's like,
Be
you know, like when you
constructive.
play the blues.
Yeah.
Like, it was more of a simple song. Yours was like lesser of a simple song, but I definitely think if you would have done like Adore Me or whatever by Harry Styles,
Yes.
that would have been your limits.
Yes, that's pushing your
That's a great
limits.
song.
I know. That
So
would've-
yes, you could have pushed more.
All right. Maddie, your thoughts?
Gosh.
I thought it was good.
Wow. Marley, your thoughts?
I thought it was good, but I have to agree with Bobby. Some of those notes were just a little rough,
Yeah.
but otherwise, I thought it was pretty good.
All right. Now we go to the offsite judges. Doug, your thought?
I actually thought you should have been given credit for testing, pushing the limits of that song. But unfortunately, I didn't know the song. So, but anyway, but yeah, I thought it was a great effort for doing it live. Yes.
All right. John Solberg, your thoughts?
It's on your shirt.
I don't know how you pulled that off not standing up, because that was high. I thought it was way above what I would call your normal range.
Yeah.
So I think it sounded great. I think you were right on it.
Jeff Rice, your thoughts?
You certainly can carry a tune, my friend. You
Oh,
certainly
yeah?
can carry a tune.
All right. Well, right back at you.
My friend.
Johnny Cash.
I've heard you sing already.
And with a big Kenny top hat, by the way, so keeping in costume with the duet. All right. So here's what you need to do. Everybody listening tonight, everybody, this includes the judges and everybody in the chat room, everybody that listen to this over the course of the next handful of days, email me who was number one and who was number 2. And we will rejoin next week for the results show where we will cap a winner. We will have a donated prize pool by a sponsor of $100,000, which is great. So we're looking forward to giving that. Yeah. Also, a 5-year recording contract through Sony Records is absolutely not happening. Not happening. No way. So there you have it. In a week, we will have the results. Don't forget, we will be here live tomorrow for the big announcement of the Barbecue Hall of Fame. Bobby, do you have a thought on who might be in the barbecue? That's Jeff Rice, who sang the Barbecue Ring of Fire.
Whoa.
I like your hat.
Yeah, I like your hat too.
They're watching the show that they're on the phone.
I can't see it. I want to know what I look like.
I know. I tried to work in a live feed, but it didn't work out. Girls, do you have any thoughts on Barbecue Hall of Fame? Marley, anybody you think is going to get in this year?
No.
No? Bobby, your thoughts?
The girl.
The girl. That's right. There happens to be 2 girls. Maddie, your thoughts?
Good guess.
I don't know who's in it.
All right. We're topical as always here. In
Somebody.
The family, no doubt. There you go. So the 4th Tuesday of the month, you can find the embedded correspondence right here. By the way, aside from finding out who wins next week, we're done with the singing. Season 1 of the Barbecue Hall of Fame is over. Let me try that again. Season 1 of American Idol Barbecue Central Show Hall of Fame is over. And we'll see if there is interest for Season 2. Ladies, would you be judging a Season 2 if we have it?
Yes.
Yes. Will you be singing for a season?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Some yes, some no. Very
Yes.
good. In the meantime, you can find John Solberg being the Michigan correspondent. You can find the longest-running embedded correspondent, Doug Scheiding, in Texas, and the newest embedded correspondent, Jeff Rice, in Wisconsin. Guys, appreciate you doing this little fun thing over the last handful of months. Jeff, appreciate you actually sacking up and singing live. That's absolutely fabulous. A lot of balls. That was pretty nerve-wracking for me, actually, and I don't get nervous on the show.
You screamed.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
So there we go. All right, ladies, thanks for coming in, as always. Appreciate your time as well.
Have a great night, everybody.
We'll talk after this, believe me. We'll talk. We'll be talking.
Oh, we'll be talking.
That's
okay.
right. We'll be talking. All right, guys. Thanks so much, and we will catch you again next month on the Barbecue Central Show with the embedded correspondence. There we go. All right. Now, where am I over here?
This is Terry House from the Talkback Fans Podcast, and you're listening to the Barbecue Central Show with the incomparable host, Greg Rempe.
A lot of production to work through to get back on track here. Here we go. Let's wrap up this second hour and show right after this. Stick around.
Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by The Smoke Sheet, a free weekly newsletter that keeps you in the know on everything happening in the barbecue world, including top news, events, recipes, and more, started by Ryan Cooper and Sean Ludwig, both of them traveling around the country when they can to report on great barbecue news. You can sign up for the newsletter and see all the full events at their barbecue calendar by going to bbqnewsletter.com. That's bbqnewsletter.com, a great all-in-one resource covering the live fire industry. Yes, sir. All right, let's wrap it up. All the way back in the first hour, we talked with Ted Conrad from FireBoard. FireBoard 2 is coming out here shortly, and FireBoard 2 Drive. Then we talked with 4th Tuesday of the month regular guest, Derek Riches from DerekRiches.com. We are asking you to throw away your bristly brushes to clean your grills. No bristles, forget it. Also, we talked about the liquid propane gas exchange scam of a number of years ago. So take it to the refill station versus exchange. And he picked his Barbecue Hall of Fame members. Don't forget. Then in the second hour, of course, embedded correspondence. Talked about our nominations for the Barbecue Hall of Fame, which will be revealed tomorrow. And then we sang like animals. We'll see who comes out on top next week during the results show, and that'll put an end to Season 1 of American Idol Barbecue Central Show Edition. Don't forget, special live show tomorrow, Wednesday, 3 p.m.
We'll do it live.
We will do it live at 3 p.m. with Emily Park from the American Royal Association, manager at the World Series of Barbecue. Well, we will reveal the 2020 Barbecue Hall of Fame class live, Facebook and YouTubes. Tell all your friends. Until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, September 11th, 2001, I am your program host, Greg Rempe. Good night now.